So in this week's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into an MMO that's been flying under the radar despite being in development for quite a few years now. Now that MMO is Bellatores. With its upcoming test in July, I think it's probably the perfect time to break down what the whole game is and everything we know about the game and the current situation it's in. But without rambling on anymore, let's just jump right into the video and get amongst all the latest information. Before we get into exactly what Bellatores is, we need to talk about the company behind them. They're a relatively new game development studio called NU. Founded in 2016 and based in Seoul, NU was started by industry veteran Jung-Hwan Kim, who's known for his work in Blizzard Korea, NCSoft Taiwan, and XL Games. He's worked on major titles like Archage, Civilization Online, and was even involved in publishing Lineage 2 and Guild Wars in Taiwan. The studio has grown rapidly over the years and now has a team of over 170 developers, and many of whom have experience in top Korean game studios. NU originally focused on mobile games, but Bellatores marks their first major step in high-end PC MMORPG space. Since this is the first MMO as a company, there's definitely some curiosity around how it's actually going to turn out. To support the ambitious scope of Bellatores, NU has raised over 50 million USD in funding, including a massive 25 million round in 2022. The round saw backing from companies like Dahl Investments, KB Securities, Cape Investment and Securities, KDB Industrial Bank, and Yuanta Securities, among others. NU also received an epic mega grant from Epic Games, recognising Bellatores as the standout project built in Unreal Engine 5. So I'm not entirely sure what they've seen and how they've got that grant, but there must be some substance there that they feel that it's worthwhile, or they must have had some connections to get that, which is, it's not a bad start at all. So the name NU is a short for And You, which reflects the vision of putting players all at the heart of the experience and building a game for them and with them in mind. So what exactly is Bellatores? Well, Bellatores is an upcoming MMO that will be exclusive to PC and built on Unreal Engine 5, following a shift from Unreal Engine 4 in 2023. They're aiming to deliver a seamless open world with massive PvP battles, player-driven storytelling, and a true sandbox experience, which they unveiled during their recent dev showcase on YouTube. You can check that out over on YouTube. I would definitely give the channel a look, and some of the videos, it's well worthwhile. Development of Bellatores started in mid-2017 and was originally known as Project N1. It was scheduled to be released in the second half of 2024, but since it's been delayed with no new date given, we kind of don't really know what the exact release date for the game is. However, what I will say is it's going to be tested in the end of July, from July 30th till August 3rd to be exact, with applications for the CBT starting on the 8th of July. Do bear in mind though, this CBT will not be a global one. It is just for Korean participants, as the game is currently only supported in Korea, but for some strange reason you can actually apply on Steam for the testing, so maybe that's changing, who knows, but as far as I know it isn't yet. But you might as well put in your application for testing on Steam. I didn't see what happens. Bellatores is set in the Kingdom of Azrial, which is a medieval world. The kingdom is thrown into chaos after the death of a king, with warring 5 houses all vying to take the throne. Do know a little about these houses, so I'll go into what they are now. However, I don't know if I'm going to get the names pronounced correctly, so it might be a bit off, but this is the information we currently have. We have House Grendel, hailing from Talabane, hopes to restore the kingdom's direction by claiming the throne and guiding humanity towards eternal prosperity. House Gunfell, leaders of the northern region of Bellastatia, having historically been the kingdom's shield, now they seek a purpose in the face of the kingdom's chaos. House Colin, nurtured by the land of Grecia, represents unity, peace and justice, and they intend to bring these ideals to all of Etheria. House Indul, descendants of sea warriors, aim to pioneer a new era in their quest for freedom and progress. House Erhard, hailing from Lazuli, looks to the faith in the divine grace of Sinap to restore peace in the kingdom towards madness. So now that we've covered the settings, I want to dive into the combat system around Bellatores. Originally, Bellatores was planned to be tab target MMO, however in the recent development interview, the team revealed a major shift. The game will now use a non-targeting combat system. While not fully detailed, it likely points towards action combat. Personally, I like this, but it does need some work and we need to keep going at it so we can kind of really solidify what the MMO action combat's going to be. That that's a good thing that I'm liking. I think it'd be pretty cool. There'll be no fixed classes with Bellator. It all depends on the weapons you use, how this will work for tanks and healers, I really don't know. The game will also feature a weapon swap system, and as you use the weapon you'll gain mastery, unlocking new abilities and fighting styles completely independent of your character's level. Progression here is based purely on usage, not XP, but we'll jump into the full mastery system soon. Combat in Bellator is designed with a variety of scenarios in mind, from AoE farming to one-on-one duels with elite enemies and boss encounters. Skills are built with complexity and depth, allowing players to manipulate the flow of battle through timing, status effects, debuff combinations, and on top of that, stamina management plays a key role. Dodging is a core part of the system, adding another layer of tactical decision making and also making it quite skill based, which, as you know, I love that. I like a challenge and I like the combat to be interactive. So next we're going to jump into the mastery system. The mastery system is a non-linear progression system within Bellator. Players will gain mastery through their actions within a game, which will help them shift their abilities, efficiency and character identity. There's going to be 3 main types of mastery that we currently know about, but it's combat, survival and crafting. Mastery is developed to make it so that each player can create their own personal build and that no 2 players are ever the same, but it's also designed to force players to work together, as there's a limit to how many expert masteries you can get, so it's impossible to master everything alone, and I honestly don't think that's a bad thing, especially when you want to focus on getting people to play together and community, and clearly that is what the MMO scene or the gaming scene in general, in my honest opinion, from running a guild is lacking, and interacting with alliances. We need more of these games. We need more games focused on trying to make people play together and interact and make it meaningful to play with other people online. And since it's also integral to the game, we're going to talk about what they've told us about crafting in Bellator. Crafting is not going to just be a side activity that's more for PvE players to do. It's going to be a core gameplay system, and it's the only way to get gear. So yeah, you have heard that correctly, you will not get gear from drops. Crafting gear is the only way to get gear. It's definitely different, and I'm not swayed away from it. I actually like the sounds of it. It's somewhat original. Gear must either be crafted or traded, which will make it an integral part for both personal progression and the game's economy. As we spoke about before, crafting is one of the main masteries, and as you level it up, it can affect things like crafting efficiency, so how quickly or effectively you're actually gonna craft, resource yields, how many materials you're gonna get from gathering or refining, chance to create rarer high quality items, and starting visual variation in crafted gear. That's pretty sick, and I really hope it does affect visual gear, and the more better you get, the more you can add to it. Who knows, it does sound really sick. This means the better your craft and mastery, the better your gear. As item quality is directly tied to how skilled you are in your craft and mastery, crafted equipment will both vary in appearance and stats. Based on the creator's crafting mastery, this will allow crafters to leave their mark on the game world, and depending on how deep they make the system, it may even lead to people being sought out to make people's gear. Now, this MMO was set to be more of a PvP MMO. However, it wasn't really spoke about in the developer interview or elaborated on it too much. So we'll have to go on the information on the PvP we had from 2 years ago. Bellator is set in a realm versus realm MMO, where players will choose a house at the beginning of the game, and there are 5 playable houses as we spoke about before, and fighting will only occur between the 5 houses. You won't be able to attack those within your house. The core end game for PvP was supposed to revolve around siege, battles and capturing castles, strongholds and strategic bases. This would give the house that captured them benefits that are said to be historically inspired, and the siege mechanics were designed to make the battlefield decisions clear and impactful, not a huge mess where no one really knows what's going on. In an article on Jax Online, which I'll link below, it was said that each house occupies one end of the game universe and covets control over the capital located in the centre of the map. To achieve this, the 5 houses will have to advance towards the centre of the map, notably by capturing bases that grant strategic advantage. The game universe, however, has around 20 bases, and a single faction will likely not have logistical means to conquer them all and then defend them. Strategic choices will therefore have to be made, because a new studio does not intend to try and balance the 5 houses. Now, it was also said the house governance includes player councils where guild leaders can vote for buffs, bonuses and faction strategies. The original plan was for this to be a full loot game, however this has been abandoned due to negative impact on PvP participation. Instead, they're now going for a system where the losing player will suffer minor penalties and the winners will earn reputation points which are redeemable for rewards. There's also going to be a bounty system where players of the opposing factions could put a bounty on your head. Because the factions can own the territory, there was some talk about player housing, however the developers are yet to decide whether to include it or not, and they haven't fully ruled it out, so we might see that in a later patch. So far, if you're looking for the PvP MMO, this could be the one for you. It sounds like the PvP is going to be similar to Albion Online, but even better, but only time will tell. So that kind of wraps up everything we know from Bellator, from its sandbox systems and its mastery based progression to large scale PvP and full player driven economy. It's shaping up to be one of the most ambitious MMORPGs in development right now. That said, there's still a lot we haven't seen, especially when it comes to real gameplay, class balance and long term content. The upcoming Korean beta should give us a much clearer picture of whether Bellator can live up to its promises, or if it's just another MMO with big ideas and a long road ahead. I really don't know how this one will play out, but I am rooting for it. I'll be keeping a close eye on how the test goes later this month, so if you want updates, in-depth breakdowns or just want MMO talk, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and drop your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you're planning to try it out through the Korean CBT or you're hoping to get in via the Western. Means obviously I know a lot of people will be heading over and I'm sure keys will be getting sold. If I have the opportunity to play this and it's not NDA, I will definitely get in and get all the information and test what systems I need with my guild or get in with some alliances. As always, I really do appreciate you watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.